actually, first, quick question. What happens in couples if you have one person who's super extroverted and one person who's not? Because that to me
my
seems
mom and
like...
dad, my dad was probably as extroverted as you guys because he was
Grandpa's.
super extroverted. My mother was not.
Is super extroverted.
Yeah, he's 90 and still funny.
Yeah. And he's the life of the party, man. And he was the life of the party in Fairview.
Yeah.
I think your dad
His whole
was,
life, I
think your
imagine.
dad was the most extroverted person in our town.
Seemed that way, yeah.
I mean, he was, and there was about 3,000 people there.
He was way more extroverted than I was.
Yeah, way more.
I was always quite surprised by his enthusiasm and his gall of just doing anything.
And he was low in agreeableness too.
Super like low in politeness.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he's hilarious.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, but you don't. Yeah, and he'll tell you what he thinks too, man. Even kids.
Yeah.
It's like I told my kids, don't do anything to annoy your grandfather. He will not forgive you. And you were good. You were good. But yeah.
my mother was very quiet.
Yeah, unbelievably
And
introverted.
I don't think she would have known anyone if it weren't for my father. Because he brought people to her. And I don't think she had the temperament to bring people to her. She didn't. So thank God that she found him and that he found her. Really.
Yeah, and introverts get worn out by social interaction and they need to go have a break fairly frequently, whereas extroverts get energized. And so, yeah, it was tricky for your mom and dad because it was hard for them to bridge that gap because your dad was always out socializing. And
yes,
and your mom enjoyed that and she thought he was funny, but she was very introverted. But you
didn't go out with him.
And she didn't really go out and make friends on her own either.
You know, through sports, and that's something that she did, was sports. Even though she was introverted, she could act out something,
open.
but not, maybe more open.
Yeah, because that can sometimes override it, right? If you're an introvert, but you're high in openness.
Well, she was actually a good athlete too, so that helped a lot. It was a domain of competence for her. And that's a kind of social activity, right? It's not sitting around talking, which extroverts will do. It was going out and doing things with people. And so that's something for introverts to consider too. It's a good avenue to social interaction, shared activity rather than mere socialized conversation.
Like dancing, they went dancing.
Yeah, you bet.
They curled together, they golfed together. And Mom went and watched all the sports that Dad did, hockey and baseball. And so she was out with people when he was doing things. And then when she was a little older, she was doing them too. And did very well with them.
Yeah, my mom is extremely high in enthusiasm and my dad is very low in enthusiasm, although he's quite assertive. Makes him a complicated character because he's half extroverted and half introverted. And so he was difficult to understand in that way. But it's difficult to rouse Dad to enthusiasm for any activity. And that's hard on my mom because she's really enthusiastic and less assertive, although not unassertive. And so that has been a point of conflict between them in their relationship. And I noticed this often when we were fighting, arguing, because Tammy would say something so outrageous and impolite, and then she would top it with like another thing that was even more outrageous and impolite, and then with another, and they were usually, and impolite people can be very funny. They were usually so over the top that it would make me laugh, but it was that impoliteness that does cause friction in our relationship because she's more likely to be curt. And
Mom's pretty curt.
Yeah, and pretty blunt. And so, I'll try to do something nice for her and she'll say something curt or blunt and then, that hurts my feelings. And, but yeah, well, c'est la vie, but you're pretty damn funny. And I think I like that provocativeness
I'm trying to be more kind and loving.
Yeah, well.
I have a better relationship now with my conscience or with my intuition or my higher power. I have a better relationship and I'm trying to, because, all of us have these personalities we're given.
We're wrestling with.
And then, do I want to be that blunt? Well, in some situations, yes, but in a personal situation with someone I love, well, no.
Yeah.
No.
I
don't want that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with regards to this distribution, like we all have temptations towards certain sins, and what we've been gifted certain virtues that make it easy for us. And it's really useful to understand that temperamentally. Like an extroverted person is going to find it easy to be social. But an introverted person is going to have to learn.
Oh, I've had to learn a lot.
Right.
And especially now that he's a public figure, for me to be involved in that, I've had to learn a lot about being in a situation with people I don't know and striking up a conversation.
Yeah, and you're getting good at that. Introverts can get unbelievably socially skilled, but they have to learn it consciously. And that bluntness and impoliteness, I do believe that was part of what attracted me to you to begin with, because you were teasy, and there's a playful element to that, or there can be, even though it's like harsh play, right? It's like playing with a dog who might bite you, but a playful dog. And I really admired the fact that you weren't a pushover, like ever since,